Breaking news, Wang Yibo speaks out about Xiao Zhan romance rumors. Did Wang Yibo just confirm the rumors, or finally put them to rest? That was the question echoing across the internet tonight, as China's most talked about actor and idol, Wang Yibo, finally broke his silence on years of whispers, headlines, and speculation surrounding his unshakable connection with Xiao Zhan. For years, their names have been linked like shadows that never part, from the untamed days that made them household stars, to secret glances caught on camera, to the moments fans swore weren't just acting. But tonight, Yibo spoke. And what he said left the entire fandom stunned. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update in the world of your favorite celebrities. The moment that shook the internet had happened during a late-night promotional interview for his new film. The interviewer, cautious but curious, finally asked what so many had avoided for years. Yibo, people have always been fascinated by your chemistry with Xiao Zhan, even off-screen. Do you ever feel those rumors have affected your friendship? There was a pause. A long one. Yibo smiled, the kind of slow, thoughtful smile that says he knows exactly what you're asking, and he's choosing his answer carefully. Then he said, "It's funny how people think they can define something they didn't live through. What we have, is real. But not everything real needs to be explained." The studio fell silent. Even the interviewer froze. And then, Yibo leaned forward and added softly, almost as if speaking to someone far away, "He's someone I'll always protect." That doesn't need labels. The internet explodes within minutes. Those words went viral. Hashtag Wangyibo Speaks trended #1 on Weibo. Hashtag Protect Xiaozhan surged past 20 million views in under an hour. Fans flooded social media with mixed emotions, some crying, some cheering, others reading deeper between the lines. He didn't deny it. He didn't confirm it. He said protect. That says everything. Clips of Yibo's expression, the tiny smile, the lingering pause, the almost imperceptible sadness in his eyes, became instant gifs and global talking points. For the first time in years, people weren't just talking about rumors. They were talking about emotion. The history that never died. To understand the impact of that moment, you have to remember how it all began. In 2019, The Untamed wasn't just a drama, it was a phenomenon. Two young men, two characters bound by loyalty, loss, and love unspoken. But what captivated millions wasn't just the story on screen. It was the way Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan looked at each other when the cameras weren't rolling. It was the laughter between takes. The small gestures, hands brushing, eyes meeting, silence charged with understanding. That chemistry ignited one of the most powerful fandoms in Asia, and one of the most enduring rumors in Chinese entertainment. But when controversy struck Xiao Zhan in 2020, it was Yibo's quiet loyalty that fans never forgot. He didn't post, didn't shout, didn't perform his friendship for the cameras. He simply stayed. And that, to many, spoke louder than words ever could. Behind closed doors, insiders close to both actors later revealed that the two still communicate, privately, quietly, away from the noise. Whenever one of them releases something new, said a former crew member, the other always finds a way to send flowers or a message. Never publicly. Always quietly. And that's exactly why tonight's words hit so hard. It wasn't an announcement. It wasn't a confession. It was, in many ways, a promise. A promise that whatever their bond truly is, it survived. Xiao Zhan's response hours after the clip aired, fans noticed Xiao Zhan had quietly liked a post. It was a fan-made edit of Yibo's interview, with the caption, "Some things don't need labels, because they're written in time." That one like, just one, sent fans into tears. The message was subtle, but unmistakable. It felt like an answer. The legacy of two souls. As dawn broke over Weibo timelines and international fan pages, the frenzy softened into something quieter, something almost tender. People began posting old clips again. Moments from press conferences, laughter from behind the scenes, photos from long-forgotten fan meets. Reminders that this connection wasn't built on scandal or speculation. It was built on something deeper: trust, history, and the kind of bond that outlives fame. His final words before leaving the studio that night, Wang Yibo reportedly turned to a staff member who asked if he was ready for the reaction online. He smiled again, quietly, and said, "Let them say what they want. The people who matter already know the truth." And with that, he walked away, head high, unbothered, but leaving behind the single most talked about moment of his career. The reunion nobody was supposed to see at first. The sighting seemed routine. Xiao Zhan had been scheduled for a brief overseas meeting tied to a new endorsement deal. But when sharp-eyed fans zoomed in on grainy photos from a nearby cafe, they saw something impossible to ignore. A man, equally discreet, wearing a cap pulled low, sitting by the window with a coffee cup untouched. Wang Yibo. The moment those photos surfaced online, the internet froze. Two men who had not been seen together in public for over 4 years, reunited, far from the eyes of the industry that once tore them apart. The silent meeting, what happened inside that cafe, remains one of the most talked about mysteries in Chinese entertainment this year. No press. No fans. No staff leaking videos. Just two men, seated across from each other for over an hour. According to an anonymous source at the restaurant, the atmosphere was quiet but heavy, like two people finally speaking words that had been trapped for years. They weren't arguing, the source said softly. It felt emotional. There were long pauses. Sometimes, one would smile, but the other looked close to tears. A history written in silence for fans who have followed them since the Untamed. This reunion wasn't just about friendship. It was about closure. For years, rumors and misunderstandings had built walls between them, the pressures of fame, the controversies, the expectations of a billion-dollar industry that thrives on perfect images and controlled emotions. And yet, despite everything, both men carried traces of each other in their work. Wang Yibo's motorcycle racing film used Xiao Zhan's favorite quote in its credits. Xiao Zhan once wore a bracelet that fans recognized as a gift from Yibo. They never mentioned each other by name, but their stories always found a way to intertwine. The interview that shook the world. So when Yibo said, "He's someone I'll always protect," fans understood. It wasn't marketing. It wasn't nostalgia. It was a truth whispered through the cracks of silence, and now, with that reunion in Japan, the world finally saw that truth take shape. Within 24 hours, the hashtag Yibo xiaozhan Tokyo had reached 200 million views. Fan pages from Korea, Thailand, and even Brazil began circulating translations of the few words Xiao Zhan said after returning to China. Sometimes, you need distance to realize what stays the same. No denial. No clarification. Just that single line, simple, but weighted with emotion. Insiders speak out. Sources close to both actors revealed that this wasn't a random coincidence. In fact, the meeting had been planned quietly for weeks, an attempt to reconcile in private, far from the noise of the public eye. A crew member from Xiao Zhan's team said he wanted peace. He said there were words left unsaid since 2019, and that the only way forward was to speak them face to face. As for Wang Yibo, insiders claim he delayed a filming schedule just to make that meeting happen. One staff member recalled, he didn't want cameras. He just said, "If I go as a person, not a celebrity." The moment that broke the fandom. Fans who had followed them for years found themselves divided, half in tears, half in disbelief. Some wrote, "It feels like they needed this to heal." Others whispered, maybe they were never gone from each other's lives. What united everyone, however, was one undeniable fact: they had finally faced each other again. And in that single reunion, they did what time, rumors, and fame had failed to do. They found peace. A new beginning. 3 days later, Xiao Zhan posted a photo on Weibo. It was a simple image, 2 cups of coffee on a wooden table, morning light filtering through the window. No caption. No tags. But fans noticed the details immediately. One cup had Yibo's trademark black ring beside it. The other, a folded piece of paper with a faint doodle of a motorcycle and a bunny, a reference to their nicknames from the Untamed era. The post reached 5 million likes in less than an hour. To many, it wasn't just a social media update. It was a quiet confirmation, a message only the two of them truly understood.